We are officially World Cup activated. The United States men's national team opens their World Cup tonight, and we dive into the MK Ultra's correspondence reports. That and more on Friday's edition of Morning Kick Around. Hello and welcome to the show that dots the map of the ever-changing American soccer landscape. My name, Robert Kerr, local soccer guy, and to my side, radio soccer guy, Jason Davis, and we are officially World Cup activated. How you feeling?
No, I am World Cup version Jason Davis. I'm not normal Jason Davis. Like you said, we have been activated. I'm basically a superhero right now, Rob. I don't know if you knew that. I'm in World Cup mode. I watched both games last night. I've written twice on my newsletter, Jason Davis Soccer Eagle, each day of the World Cup. I had a review up of the opening ceremony this morning and those games that we saw yesterday. A couple of thoughts on the U.S. men's national team. Thoughts on Canada. Jesse Marsh talking about the United States again might come up on today's show. I'm fully engaged. I'm ready for 3 games today. The U.S. men's national team plays tonight. I am a little disappointed, though. I got to tell you something, Rob. So I made sure yesterday, or actually this would have been Wednesday, made sure to go out and pick up some U.S. men's national team gear.
Nice.
I was desperately looking for the Adidas denim kit throwback. That's what I wanted. I hadn't picked it up yet. So I go down to my local sportings goods retailer. I'll let you decide, figure out which one it was, national chain. And I go to the U.S. section, and I cannot for the life of me find a denim kit throwback. They're gone. They're gone. They have like the baseball jersey version. Nah, I don't want that. They got some jackets. No, not mentioning the jackets. It's 105 degrees out here. I want the denim kit throwback. I'm asking the guys, like, oh, they were right. Oh, they're gone. No.
You were about 48 hours too late.
I did find one for Tiago. I found one in a kid size, and I was like, all right, score. Get one for Tiago. And then I did what a smart shopper does. I looked in other parts of the store. Sure enough, somebody had thrown one of them on a different rack in the back of the store.
Hey, that's a score.
Found a large, perfect for me. My wife also wanted some World Cup gear. Okay. And I don't know. I've talked about this. My wife is Puerto Rican, right? She has a complicated relationship with the United States of America. I will leave it there. She can tell her therapist it's not for me to break it down. I didn't know she wanted to be repping U.S. colors, right? She doesn't have to be a U.S. fan just because I'm a massive U.S. men's national team supporter. So it's like, okay, who could she support? She's a Latina. So, and she's Puerto Rican, so there's no soccer in Puerto Rico of note, not yet anyway. I'm okay. Well, what I got Colombia, sure, I could do that. Spain, oh sure, maybe
Haiti?
Colonizing, sure. Who? Haiti? Didn't find a Haiti at this retailer. There was no Haiti, and I was like, okay, Argentina. I mean, you can't go wrong with Argentina. They got Lionel Messi. They got the World Cup championship from 2022. So I buy her a women's cut of the Argentina away, which was the most expensive jersey I bought. Brought them home. She said, I got to wear a jersey to work. It's World Cup. I'm going to wear a jersey to work. I was like, okay, here you go. And she goes, can I wear the denim one? Yours?
Hey.
And I was like, no, not like, hey, good job. You rep it. Like, I would like to be wearing it right now on this show. I'd like to be wearing it right now. I can't.
On a literal USA match day on our soccer show, it would only make sense.
I know. I don't know. It's World Cup time, though. I'm buzzing and fully in it. And I'm glad we're going to talk about it today and get some those reports that we asked our ultras to bring to the table.
Yeah, it's been fascinating seeing the variety of mediums. We made it broad with the instructions for the correspondence on purpose. So, everyone do what they can with their time and energy available, and the variety of reports has been intriguing. We have one entry that's such an epic adventure that we may just make that a bonus at the end of today's show. So get your memberships in. I see that our good friend Bob out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, has donated 5 of them. So hopefully we have at least 5 new members to participate in the members only bonus at the end of the show. but you did make me wonder by talking about a soccer realtor. So is there anyone interested in there in like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Mexico kit or something like that?
Yeah, sure. That's yeah, I guess. I don't know. I slip of the tongue. I do see I want to shout out some of our ultras who are there. You mentioned that Bob gave a 5 more gift memberships. I know some people scooped those up. Shout out to you guys. Zach says he wants a Curacao kit. Not sure where you can pick that up. I mean, there's a soccer shop not that far from me. I just went to the big sporting goods store because it was closer. So maybe I need to do some scouting. I do have some time today. We'll see. Why did Fox skip Shakira? That's a very good question, Jax.
Yeah, I was hoping we would. That's like top of the rundown, isn't it?
But
Shakira or
guess what?
Shakira-less opening show.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided not to show the opening ceremony. The music and the scene there at the Azteca. I have no idea. I was watching Telemundo. That was always my choice to watch Telemundo. And I checked in on Fox and I saw they were still in an empty stadium with muckety mucks talking about the U.S. men's national team. And I was like, no, that's not the World Cup spirit. Stop being so jingoistic. Yes, I'm a national team fan. I want my team to do well, but I need the whole experience of the World Cup. And Mexico was putting on a show, and Shakira showed up with Burna Boy. And that's a good song. I like that song. Maná played. Go learn about Maná. If you don't know about Maná, it's a good Mexican pop rock band that my wife likes. So yeah, it was a good time there in Mexico.
Shakira always entertaining, even the politics aside. How can you skip her if you have the choice? That just doesn't make any sense. That feels like viewership in a bottle right there. Shakira on your television screens. But this week, the ultimate example of one of the reasons I love the game, international soccer, obviously the biggest stage here, but also my boys 6-0. Jason, did you know it? I'm going to be play-by-play on the USL2 match of the week. Me and my guy Mitch Gadsky, Oakland County FC versus the Flint City Bucks on Saturday night. So you can skip all that World Cup stuff and watch Sports Engine play.
Sure, do that. No, yeah, support our guy Rob. Multi-screen. World Cup might be happening. I know some of our people aren't World Cup fans. That's fine. I dig it. Support Rob and local soccer there in Michigan. I think that's great. Congratulations on that, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful times. I mean, we stayed at the bar late last night to watch a great World Cup game. Got the USA, for Christ's sake, on the television tonight. And then the biggest league match for my local team, all 3 nights in a row. And there's a whole lot of soccer in between those events as well. Support the show as we get into our content of the day. You can support by just giving a thumbs up. You can share no doubt about that. This week was
Rob. That wasn't for you. That's what
I was going to say. We could do a whole other bonus segment on Sports Engine play in the USL too, but that's neither here nor there. You like the show, share it, give us a thumbs up, be like Mr. Bob, and sign up, become an MK Ultra. We do have a Ultras only segment at the end of today's show, so get on board there and support any which way you can. Even by telling a friend, that helps. Morning kick round, cover the ever-changing American soccer landscape and dotting the map like only our show does. Anything else before we get to the show?
No, I think we're going to cover. I'm seeing a lot of stuff I want to talk about in the chat with our ultras, but I guess we're going to work it in as we go along. So we'll save some of that, Rob. But I shout out to everybody talking about the Tartan Army and some of the other stuff. That's what we love about the World Cup, and we're going to get into it.
Yeah, with the gluttony of soccer that is, especially with the World Cup, we're kind of going to go with a review like yesterday, today, tomorrow, and then lots of MK Ultra content in the mix. So let's go. Friday's edition of Morning Kick Round is active. Let's do it. World Cup 2026 is officially on, and we are in World Cup mode. Watch out. Jason might actually turn into a transformer and go to World Cup Jason. He is active for sure. So we got 2 games on opening day on Thursday. It's Friday morning. And we had 2 games. I'd say the quality I would say we saw some of the good and some of the bad with having such a large field. 3 red cards in the opening game between our South Africa and Mexico, and then in the evening, a game I really enjoyed: South Korea taking on Czechia.
Yeah, I mean, watch both those games in total. Not overly impressed with Mexico. Thought South Africa was pretty bad. Trash is a good word for how South Africa played. But I don't think you care if you're Mexico. You just want to get the points and
Take the
move
gifts.
forward. And
Take
you
the
get,
gifts.
you get a goal from Raul Jimenez, and that's been. I mean, think about what that guy's been through, having his skull cracked open and nearly dying, and then being told maybe you can't play again, and having to play in the big padded helmet and all that stuff. And here
I
he
love
is.
how he's gradually come back. It's been taking years, and he's just like
Yeah.
leveled up slowly, slowly, slowly. And then I was trying to explain to a coworker maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, this player Jimenez wasn't even a
Yeah.
guarantee to be in this team at all.
No, no. Well, yeah. I mean, he's 35 years old too. So you imagine in a perfect world that Mexico would have liked to have replaced him by now, but they don't
Yeah,
have anybody else. Santiago Jimenez has not been the guy. I have a couple other options there. So yeah, Mexico wins. I am seeing a mention. You said something about the bigger field and all that. South Africa won their qualifying group in Africa,
fair,
and
fair.
that group had Nigeria in it, and Nigeria did, excuse my language, shit the bed in African qualifying. So as
Sure.
much as you want to say Bafana was poor on the day, and maybe they're going to be outclassed in this group, they earned their way here, right? And that's the story that we've got. So yeah, the curtain raiser at the Azteca was a great idea. Like
Mhm.
whatever else FIFA has screwed up about this tournament, and we'll see what the remaining 38 days has to show. That was the right thing to do. Start the tournament at the Azteca, 80,000 people, the atmosphere. They handed out what I think were paper sombreros. They handed out some sort of sombrero, right? Traditional Mexican hat, giveaway. Of course, they went flying through the air as soon as fans were in their seats. Of course, it was like discs going everywhere. It was a great scene. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the sound, that was proper World Cup fever pitch sort of a sound. I was really happy when I tuned into the game, and just the atmosphere was alive there. Great move to have the opening game there. And one of the only, there's so many venues for this World Cup, so it's because of the size. But this one, the Azteca, with lots of history and lots of legendary moments happening there. And there isn't too many venues. There's a lot of new buildings being used as host venues this time around. So yeah, good point about them starting in Azteca. Not only a huge theater for the game, but also a storied one. And as we go through our World Cup review, should we bring in some of our reporting from our correspondents? Jose, he had a couple notes
Yeah.
about
So
the
Jose gave
yeah.
us sorry, I had an extra video up there. I'm gonna put that in later. Jose had this report for us on Group A, which is now, of course, underway. Mexico with 3 points, South Korea with 3 points. We didn't really talk about that game. I thought, we might get a stalemate. South Korea was kind of hesitant to put bodies forward, but eventually they did make a go of it. Yeah, you got a great goal. I believe it was Hwang Im-bom who scored that opener. That was the first great goal of the World Cup. Very much enjoyed that. Like played through, realized he was going to run to a cul-de-sac, cuts back, chops a little bit, little flick over the goalkeeper to the far post. Well taken. One of those the ball looks like it might not make it, and it just kind of like trickles across the line. Really enjoyed that. All right, here we go. This is Jose. You have something to say about South Korea?
Well, I was just gonna say I really enjoyed. I got to see the last half hour of that game, and just like the technical level was really high. The Korean players, there's so many nice turns and touches, and I'm not sure who the player was that was playing down the left hand side in those closing moments, but he was electric every time he got on the ball. And to your point, yeah, the Koreans scored some good goals, and that was a high level game, and I thought it was a really cool matchup. I thought that Czechia also had their own strengths and were a threat there down to the right to the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So Jose gave us his report. We'll kind of work through this. He gave us this on Mexico. The full name of Mexico, Rob, did you know that it was Estados Unidos Mexicanos? So they are also Estados Unidos. They're just a different kind of
That's one of those things
Estados
I only
Unidos.
remember when we're watching international soccer is when you see the scoreboards, when you see
Mhm.
the actual native pronunciation. So it's one of those things that comes back every 4 years. Like, what is the United States on Spanish television?
Los Estados Unidos, exactly that. Los Estados Unidos. Or you could say, you know how my wife has a thing about this. You can't really call us Americans, according to her, because everybody who lives in the Americas, in Las Americas, are Americans, Americanos, right?
Mm.
So we are estadounidense. Can you say that really fast? Estadounidense? It's tough. It took me a
I'm
long
able,
time.
I'm able to, but I'll pass for now.
You're definitely able to, but you're bad. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and Jax is saying it. This is the way that they abbreviate Estados Unidos in Latin in Mexican. I'm sorry, in Spanish sources, Spanish outlets. I think it's just because AU is too short. I guess I don't know. Anyway, let's look more a little bit at Mexico, learn some more. We know about the Golden Eagle on the flag. We got some non-soccer people. Selma Hayek was part of the opening ceremonies yesterday. Unfortunately, shared a stage with Gianni Infantino,
Ooh.
which wasn't a good look for my girl Selma. But yeah, she looks great. She's doing good. Isn't she married to like a billionaire or something too? Like,
Oh
isn't she
yeah, well,
just
I'm
like
sure. I mean, Shakira did something similar too. And shout out to Friday's episode. Two of the most beautiful women in the world mentioned. Not a lot of like female celebrity references on this show, and two good ones
we
here
should do
early.
more. We should absolutely be talking more about hot women on this show, Rob. You know how we roll. Yeah. It's the Mexican national team
I won't
profile.
argue. I mean, I'm open to ideas.
El Tri, of course, is the nickname of the team. You see their honors. They hosted. They are a host country, hence their path, and we'll get more into the other teams in Group A. This is why it kills me. My wife has an uncle, Gilberto. Gilberto is tough to say correctly. You can say Gilberto if you want. Gilberto Mora, 17 years old, I believe. The Mexican midfielder got a taste of action against South Africa yesterday. Brian Gutierrez, who is the kid born in Illinois who came through the Chicago Fire developmental system and is now playing at Chivas and is representing Mexico. Johan Vargas, the center back, Raul Jimenez. We talked about him there. Domestic soccer, a lot of this we already know. Liga MX is their league. They have changed the name of that league, right? It hasn't been Liga MX for that long. It was just Liga Mexicana because I used to watch it occasionally, and you would have the announcer saying "Football de la Liga Mexicana," and it was always very fun to like.
So I gotta say, there was an honor left off of this list. Mexico also holds the title for most World Cup games lost in history. So
Oh,
I'll
do
just put
they?
that out there. I mean, it's
All
not
right.
probably something you put on the headlines for your own national team, but they do
Right.
hold
All
that
right.
moniker. And then I think that probably has more to do with qualifying for like just about every single iteration of the tournament, but notable nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see that note there. Ownership just voted to remove promotion and relegation to move to a franchise model like in the U.S. I'm not up on the machinations of the owners of Mexican football, but they are some wild people. There's also multi-club ownership in Mexico last
Lots of
time I
that. Yeah.
checked. Yeah,
Yeah.
with like as TV Azteca and some of the big broadcasters owning multiple clubs, and that's not a great Grupo Pachuca, right? Oh, we had that at the Club World Cup, right? That
Yep.
issue with who got kicked out? Was it Pachuca got kicked out or
It was the
Santos? I
team.
can't
It
remember.
was Santos because
Santos
I
got
think it
kicked
was
out.
like Pachuca got through on name recognition or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So we have South Africa, obviously losers to Mexico yesterday. I don't know the national. I've eaten some Mexican food. I don't think I've ever eaten South African food.
No.
Boboti, the official national dish of South Africa, spiced minced meat, beef or lamb, baked with a savory egg custard topping and served alongside yellow rice, raisins, and chutney. That does not sound like my speed, but I would try it. I would try it. I
No, that
imagine it's
sounds
right there
awesome.
you
That
think it
sounds
sounds great?
absolutely. Maybe until I saw the raisins bit.
Oh, it was Leon. But by the way, it was Leon that lost their spot in the Club World Cup. Thank you to the chat for correcting us. So yes, it was
Appreciate that.
Clue Leon who lost their spot. The Springbok, I know about that. That's it. Isn't that what the rugby team is called? Are they
You're
called the
right. Yep, the
Springboks?
Springboks. Yep, you got
All
it.
right. We got the flag. Obviously, there's some history here, within the last 35 years or so. Pretty
What?
intense for South Africa. No, you didn't know about that? You didn't hear about that? All right.
Oh, hey,
Um,
in the words of Johnny Infantino, you should just chill out about all that.
And
Jason.
also being told here by Jose, who wrote this report, that multi-club ownership was voted to end in Mexico. So that's good. That's if that's a thing, then that's good. Famous people from South Africa, those people. I don't really need to. Okay, let's move on. South African national team, Bafana Bafana. They have been in the World Cup 3 times. One time as a host, of course. Qualified directly in a group that included Nigeria and Benin. I mean, again, they won their right to be in this World Cup.
Fair.
But they also had that 3-0 loss to Lesotho because they fielded an ineligible player.
That's not good. Yeah, the
yeah,
manager of South Africa said his team played well yesterday, and that's some serious
that's
coaching
wild.
deflection.
That's wild.
Deflection turned up to 11.
Oh, you look, they did not play well. I think they could not figure out the lay of the grass there at the Azteca, or they were just being a little aggressive and maybe the adrenaline was too high because they couldn't figure out how to get the right pace on their balls in order to play through lines, because there were some chances there to do that. I think Mbukazi played relatively well at the back. He impressed some people. He's mentioned here in the report by Jose. And then you have, they gave the ball away and gifted that first goal to Julian Quinones. Like, that's you if you're going to play out of the back, you don't play out of the back that way, right? So that's where they got tripped up. Also, in the report on South Africa, the domestic soccer situation. South African Premiership. I've heard about these clubs. I don't know a ton about the league, but Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates.
World Cup wasn't Club World Cup team the Sundowns.
I believe so. The Sundowns were, and I think they have a bunch of players on the national team roster, and actually you can see 2 of them listed there. And the league founded in 1996, so the same as MLS, which is interesting. All right, let's move on to South Korea. Also winners last night. Very good team. I mean, maybe I underrated them a bit coming into the tournament. Czechia did victimize South Korea on set pieces. So, and that's what Czechia's game is, to go get set pieces. Long throw goal for Czechia, but we'll get to them. So Republic of Korea, which I should be calling them that instead of South Korea. They don't like it, right? They prefer to be called Republic of Korea because of that whole relationship with the North. Right. So that's kind of what. Yeah.
There's a thing. Just chill about that, Jason. You're bringing up all the things.
You're right. Johnny told me to chill. I should chill. Kimchi. You ever had kimchi, Rob?
Oh yeah. Okay. I worked at a Japanese restaurant with lots of Korean employees, and they're like, try our food from home. And I'd never tasted anything like that in high school, and I thought my head was going to explode. It's very spicy.
Yeah, well, the fermented element is definitely a wild ride. Okay, the animals, the Korean tiger. We got the flag there, Chinese Qing and Taiji, or Taiji. We call those yin and yang, so there's that energy there. We know that. And then those marks, which I don't know that I ever thought, hey, what are those marks around the yin and yang? We should got an explanation here from Jose. He gives us, this is obviously a Wikipedia entry, but I like this, right? It's giving us what each one of those things mean.
The trigram.
The social fabric. The trigram. They've got multiple meanings. Like,
we got flag explainer here.
Yeah, I like a flag explainer. I mean, look, that third one, sun, spring, east, courtesy, daughter, fire, fruition. It's like a quiz the president takes. Gam, moon, autumn, west,
every other week. Yeah.
Water, wisdom. That is dope. I like that a lot. All right. Here's the national team profile. Taeguk Warriors. That's derived from the flag symbol. Red Devils. I guess we've got that as well. Some of those achievements. Son Kim of Bayern Munich, the defender. Lee Kang-in, massive talent, who was at PSG. Maybe not getting a ton of time because of all the talent PSG has, but he is a very good player. I like Wong, too, by the way, who scored that goal I mentioned, and he played for Vancouver back in the day. I think he's in the Netherlands these days. Domestic soccer, K-League 1, Jumbuk Hyundai Motors, FC Seoul, Ulsan HD. Talked about, I've heard about them. I may have been in the Club World Cup once or twice. And then you see those domestic players that are there in the league. And again, they are a country very much like the United States, where the best players leave, right? The best players aren't playing in South Korea. They are moving on to find greener pastures. And I guess finally we should do Czechia, right? They lose 2-1 last night, so they're on 0 points.
They look like they got a lot of strengths, though.
Political history. obviously part of the deal here because you Czechoslovakia, no longer Czechoslovakia. Now you were Czech Republic, and I guess they're now choosing to be called Czechia, which we should respect. Bohemia, if you've heard of that, and obviously there's a lot of things that derive from Bohemia. I cannot pronounce the national dish, Rob. Do you want to try?
The national dish, vo knedlo zelo is my attempt at that.
Oh, that's your attempt. I thought you were really coming off with some expertise.
Whoa, yeah, I mean, there we go. Just do anything with a little bit of confidence, and you'll believe me. So I'll note that for the future. But
okay.
If that's a dish, so on that dish, is that like a pate sort of a thing on the left, or is that just toast slices? I'm trying to think of what those beige things are next to the meat there.
Well, it says roast pork with dumplings and pickled or cooked cabbages. So that may be what we're looking at there, right? So we've got the pork. I can see the pork, and then you got some cabbage there. I'm a cabbage guy. I like cabbage.
I was going to say we have a cabbage. Last night was a cabbage off, and I don't know if anyone mentioned that. That's definitely why isn't anyone talking about the cabbage off last night?
Why aren't we doing
the kimchi versus the Czech knedlo zolo?
Why isn't somebody on late night television putting different cabbage dishes in front of people and asking them to choose in order to determine who's going to win World Cup games? Why aren't we doing that? That sounds like an obvious thing to do. Korea and Czechia cabbages. I love that. I love that. All right.
Fruit of the earth.
Czechia national team. Narodak. Nash just means the national team, or Repre, the representatives. We don't get very fancy and exciting with our names for Czechia. There you see some of the achievements. Obviously, again, as Czechoslovakia, they won a European championship. They went through the playoffs to beat Ireland and Denmark, and those were both penalty kick shootout wins. The key players, Patrick Schick led the line last night, Pavel Suk playing at Lyon. You also have Thomas Souček in there, although it's a different Tomas gets mentioned. And the big clubs, Sparta Prague, Slavia Prague, Victoria Pilsen. Good report there from Jose on Group A, Rob.
Yeah, huge thanks to Jose, and a great helper with our correspondence here for yesterday's action. And we've talked about it. If you have limitless money, what would you do with it? I think we both agreed that touring the world would be part of it to check out various soccer stadiums and stuff like that. And I definitely think that the Czech Republic or Czechia and that region, those listed like Prague and all those stadiums would be absolutely fantastic, like top tier, and maybe underrated outside of Europe as far as the intensity, much like Turkey, like the insanity and the passion that just like is in the blood for the game there. So
we know those countries in that part of the world in terms of their club allegiances are some of the most intense fans on the planet, right? No doubt about that. Ultras comes from that part of the world, right? But I think what's fascinating about international football and what we get from that report and the way that we saw, the Czech representation last night in Guadalajara is they rally around their national team. I mean, you could be a Slavia Prague fan and I could be a Sparta Prague fan and whatever. And it doesn't matter. Who cares? Let's go root for our national team. And we're obviously not going to be fighting each other while our national team is on the world stage.
All right, Group A, that's yesterday done. Let's move to today's action in Group B here on Morning Kickaround. Let's go. Welcome back. Morning Kickaround. Day 2 of the World Cup is here. The calm before the storm, if it will. But we got Group B action, which consists of Canada, Switzerland, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Qatar. And today's action match on the field, we start our day here on Friday at 3 o'clock with Canada versus Bosnia-Herzegovina. And our correspondent for Group B is Craig Aaron. And we see a new take on the correspondence report here. And I like the native pronunciations under the pictures right away.
Well, those are the nicknames, right? Those are the nicknames of the teams. I can't say the nickname for Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm not going to try to do that. There's a Z next to an M, Rob. I'm not going to try.
Smezvia.
Okay. All right.
Smajeva. I don't know. I've been in my local ball. There's a lot of Albanians, so the way the Jays
Yes.
are working Albanian is I don't know if that's translates here.
I'm not
I gave it a
sure. I'm
shot.
not sure. You gave it a shot. They are the Dragons, right? That is their name. In
Easier,
English.
easier.
Al Anabi for Qatar or Qatar, if you want to be more accurate with the pronunciation of that country, and then Switzerland Nati, which would just be the national team, right? There is some. I like how our guy Craig Aaron gave us. Craig gave us the permutations, right? So if you finish first in this group, you get a third place team from E, F, G, I, or J, and you don't know until those third place teams are determined, and then there's a whole list of permutations there, and then the second place team faces a second from Group A, and such and so on. So okay, let's move on. Got some stats here. Percent chance of making the knockout stage. Switzerland's at 85%, Canada's at 80%, Bosnia and Herzegovina's at 63%, and Qatar's at 44%. Seems about right to me. I mean, obviously, Bosnia and Herzegovina getting here is kind of a surprise just based on who they had to beat to do it. Canada as a host country has a built-in advantage, and they're in a decent place right now. We got some geography. Look how big Canada is. So big. Just
Yeah,
huge.
I don't know. Is that stat still true that everyone in the entire world could live in Canada with a few acres of land? Is that still true? I know the
Oh, I have
population
no
changed, but
idea.
there was once the time where the landmass of Canada could house the entire planet's population.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Russia's bigger, but Canada's still massive, and I don't, nobody goes way, way, way up north there. That's all ice and stuff. But there are plenty of people. I've watched. I've watched. What is that show? Alone, where they throw them into Canada. It's intense up there in the Great White North. Let's go to a poster, image of the team, as you can see. Alphonso Davies, front and center. Not going to play in this game against Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's the update from Jesse Marsh.
That's unfortunate.
But they do have some talent, right? They got some nice players. Captain Alphonso Davies, forward Jonathan David at Juventus. Maxime Crepeau looks to be their goalkeeper now. There's been sort of a process to figure out who that was going to be. They have Dane St. Clair also, who's now obviously with Inter Miami. Jesse, slight misspelling. Implemented a high-intensity style known as the maple press.
Is that an official? Is that an official doctrine? But it's a good fun, and I like the second bullet point here. Sounds like a McDonald's breakfast item. Which one is better? Much like Jesse Marsh, it's good at the beginning, but maybe turns a little dangerous later on.
Oh, don't let it sit out too long and get cold, is what you're saying. Look, Jesse Marsh does like high pressing soccer. He has since his days at the New York Red Bulls, and he has brought that to Canada, and we will see how effective it is. And again, in home games, in particular in Canada, I imagine it will be more effective than maybe it's ever been before against the level of teams that they're going to be playing. I do like this shout from our guy Felix. He's saying, Shorzy is an accurate mockumentary about Canada. Shorzy is literally my favorite television show right now. I wish they would do a soccer version. I would watch every single second of that. Shorzy is brilliant. If you have not watched Shorzy, don't watch it with kids around. There's lots of cursing, but it's a great show. Have you watched Shorzy, Rob?
I haven't tuned in. I've seen like lots of clips, and I know lots of people like it. But
gotta watch Shorzy.
Is it anything like Trailer Park Boys and the representation of that world?
I've not seen Trailer Park Boys, but I did watch Letterkenny, and it's like Letterkenny only. I don't know. It's better. I think it's better than Letterkenny. Believe it or not, and I really like that show. Okay, let's move on. By the way, Jesse Marsh. Jesse Marsh cannot stop himself talking about the United States men's national. He coaches Canada. He has fully embraced Canada. There is one of those puff pieces, glow up pieces over on ESPN's website about Jesse Marsh that I think went up yesterday. And it tells a very long story about how Jesse Marsh endeared himself to the Canadian people, Canadian soccer, et cetera, et cetera. And it is, look, they clearly love Jesse Marsh because he has fully embraced them. And that's what you want, right? If you got a coach and he's not from your country, you want him to feel like he's connected to you. Mauricio Pochettino has taken a different approach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People have been left cold by that. Jesse Marsh is like, I'm going on tour. I'm talking to everybody. I'm going to all the little towns in Canada. He probably went to the town where Shorzy happens, right? He probably did.
Shorzy town.
He has talked a lot about being basically Canadian at this point. But whenever my guy gets a chance to take a shot at the United States, he takes a shot. Now, I understand he's still salty about the way he was treated by U.S. Soccer, and my understanding of my sources and people I know say he has a right to be upset by the way U.S. Soccer handled him. But it is now what? We are 3 years on? 3 years on from that?
It's been a
So
minute.
what happened yesterday is while talking about Canadian identity and saying that, Canadians really love being Canadian and they sing their national anthem, he said, we had to ask and beg American players to sing the national anthem.
Oh,
What he said. Now, let's establish first that our anthem sucks. As a singable song, it kind of stinks, right?
well, the last two lines, everyone knows those. Everyone
Yes,
knows the
everybody
last
knows
bit.
the, and then everybody says play ball right afterward. No, wait, that's not right. That's not for soccer. Anyway, I just need him to stop it. Actually, you know what? I don't actually. Never mind. I don't care. I don't care. He is a guy who is giving off very strong little brother energy for Canada, and I'm not sure that's what they want right now.
Maybe that's why the Canadians love him so much, because so much of Canadian identity is intertwined with the United States. Maybe.
I do think that maybe they like it. He takes shots. I just don't think it's the look that they should want. Canada have never won a World Cup match in 6 attempts, so they will be trying their 7th this afternoon against Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think they're very good shouts to win this game.
Last note for me on Canada: they did really well in their qualifying campaign in 2022. I think they were actually like the last placed finishers ultimately in 2022. Canada better or worse than 4 years ago?
They're better. They're better. They have a better coach. Whatever I say about Jesse Marsh taking shots at the U.S., he's better than John Herdman. So I do expect them to be better. They didn't look great. Again, as I mentioned there, warm-up games, they drew with Ireland, and then they beat Uzbekistan, who I think is pretty poor, and obviously is in this tournament. Never advanced past the group stage. All right, let's go on. When Canada was colonized by the British, it was called the Dominion of Canada and formed the Dominion of Canada Football Association. That was the first league founded outside of Britain in 1877. Man, that's nice. That's a nice little note. I think if you go back deep in the history, like some of the first football games of any code in the Americas were happening with McGill out of, I believe that is Toronto is where Montreal is where McGill is, and Harvard, and some of those schools were playing each other in games and that kind of thing. Not fully independent from Britain until 1982.
That's wild to think, right?
Commonwealth nations.
They're part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Switzerland. That's next up. There's some geography. Look at there. Sitting there
we
being
love
all
maps
neutral.
here. This doesn't look like the usual map.
What do you mean? It is. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying I was just saying that we do our own thing on the show where we dot the map.
Oh, I see.
So we got a different map up this time. If you're just tuning in, that we didn't change the map that much.
We do not have dots in this part of the world, at least not yet. We don't have American soccer sickos over there in Europe. Okay, shot of the Swiss national team. I have a lot of respect for Switzerland. Murat Yakin is their head coach. Played in Switzerland and Turkey, coaching mostly in Switzerland. You got Granit Xhaka, who had a very good season for Sunderland and keeping them in the Premier League against all odds, right? People all thought the Black Cats were going right back down, and they didn't. And Granit Xhaka was a major part of that.
Oh, yeah. They thrived this year.
They did. Manuel Akanji, Inter Milan. Obviously a player who's been very accomplished. Manchester City stint as well. Gregor Kobel, goalkeeper. You've got Breel Mbolo from Rennes as a manager, or as a player rather, to watch. Last 16 in their last 3 World Cups. Now, obviously, we have an extra round with the round of 32 this time around. But, if Canada slips a little bit, Switzerland's winning this group. And they'll be in the round of 16, I think, if they win the group. I have to check what their third place opponent would be out of, second place would play the winner of Group A, and then the winner of the group gets a third place opponent. And I would like Switzerland's chances. And they could very easily win all 3 of these games. I don't know if they need to. Here's some facts. Swiss Super League is the longest continuously running top flight national league because of no break for World War II. I mean, must be nice to be neutral and play through the only the biggest war the world has ever seen right there in the middle.
Not everyone was afforded that sort of freedom to continue to operate. So unique history and geography there, allowing them to play through that skirmish, if you will.
I think I may have learned this at some point, but shout out to our guy Craig with this information. Switzerland has a German and an Italian club participating in the pyramid, as they are enclaves in Switzerland. And they have 7 clubs in Liechtenstein, which is too small for its own league. So there we go. We get this little bit, which is technically Italy, which is an enclave on. See, it's on the Swiss side of the border because you can see that on the right. But for whatever reason, it's an enclave. This goes back like to like the Habsburgs and stuff. I'm sure, like when they
Habsburg versus
carved up
Romans or something.
Europe after figuring out World War II and all that, and they're like, oh, well, you were a part of the kingdom of whatever. Technically, Germany, another enclave there, smack in the like just cut off. That's wild. Then we have a couple of things that Switzerland's known for, including being home to FIFA and UEFA. Banking. You're all about the banking. What else we got here? Okay, now we're into Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now I'm seeing that we have a friend visiting us from the Netherlands in the chat and thinks that the Bosnia and Herzegovina league is stronger than Canada's, and that is absolutely true. I don't think there's any real
I
doubt
don't,
about
no one's
that.
questioning that one.
Yeah. But they're obviously Canada's players are very rarely staying in Canada these days. Bosnia Herzegovina, we got a shot of the national team there. Obviously, one of the key figures here, the guy that is carrying them on his shoulders, Edin Dzeko, who's playing at Schalke now. Did Schalke win promotion? They did,
They
right?
did. Yeah,
That's great.
One of the down giant has risen.
They are a massive club. If people have not been paying attention for the last couple of years, they had some issues with Gazprom and money, but they're going to be massive in the Bundesliga again next season. You've got he's 40. Edin Dzeko is 40.
He was on the Manchester City's initial rebirth sort of team. He was there for the first Manchester City.
It's been
Premier
that
League win.
long. Yeah. Back with Sergio Aguero and the whole
he
thing.
He was on the Aguero team for sure, and that's a long time ago.
Aguero! Ermedin Demirovic. My best chance.
That's good.
Amar Dedic at Benfica. You got a goalkeeper there. By the way, worth mentioning Esmir Baraktarovic as well, a product of the New England Revolution Academy, who is Bosnian and is playing for Bosnia and scored the winning penalty, I believe, against Italy. Do I have that right? I think Esmir Baraktarovic, a Bosnian American, scored the winning penalty to put Bosnia and Herzegovina into the World Cup over Italy. Here's their path, and you see it there. There's the penalty shootout win over the Italians. So much talk about Italy and the Azzurri missing out on another World Cup after that, which kind of disrespected Bosnia and Herzegovina, keeping themselves in that game, finding an equalizer. I think Italy was up in that game. It was a wild affair. You saw this finish second to Austria in their group. Positives. Positive momentum for beating Wales and Italy in dramatic fashion. Shootouts in the playoffs. Expectations are low. Their best player is 40. That's a negative. I think that's true. Thin squad depth. Second World Cup. Didn't make out of the group in 2014. And some facts. Obviously, the breakup of all of those countries in the early 90s after the end of the Soviet Union led to independence from Yugoslavia. In 1993, they had 3 top leagues separated along ethnic lines, which, again, gets messy over there. Croats, Serbs, and Bosnians. They were united in 2000. Reporters just called them Bosnia out of laziness, but we should suggest the rebrand as Bosgovina United.
Now that's some hard-hitting correspondence there. Thank you, Craig. That's good stuff. And I have often daydreamed of what the Yugoslavia team would have looked like over the last 15, 20 years with the players from that block of countries all on one squad. Would be unreal if politics and history and like real world stuff didn't exist and all that. Just the players under one roof with how good the Croatians have been and the stars that have been on all the neighboring countries. Right. There'd be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, tough, right? I mean, when identity is as strong as it is and religion enters the picture as well in that part of the world, just make it tough. Okay, Qatar. They are in the Middle East, obviously. They were Asian champions in 2023 on home soil. I think it should be mentioned.
That's
here's their manager. Their manager's Julian Lopetegui.
We've heard of him.
Julian Lopetegui is their manager. Fired 2 days prior to the 2018 World Cup while coaching Spain because he signed a deal with Real Madrid and didn't tell the Spanish FA.
Which is wild because that totally screwed up the 2018 Spanish World Cup campaign. And for what, really? And when the rumors of Pochettino going to Milan were circling and there was some reactionary people saying, fire him, that's BS or whatever, I'd say look at Lopetegui and that firing on the eve of the tournament did them no favors.
Yeah, but I think they are in Spain ended up in very good hands in the next cycle with Luis de la Fuente, who I think
Yeah,
has them ready to go.
they have
All
so
right,
many
so
coaches.
with Lopetegui in charge, what can Qatar do? Akram Afif from Al Sadd is their best player. I think we saw glimpses of him in the Gold Cup when Qatar was playing here, and obviously again in that tournament in 2022. They didn't make it out of the group, of course. There is their qualifying group, dominant. 5 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses, plus 15. Of course, their opponents were Kuwait and India and Afghanistan. None of those are top soccer playing nations. Then you have the third round. They moved on, finishing fourth. So tougher opposition, right? Iran, Uzbekistan, the UAE. They finished ahead of Kyrgyzstan and North Korea. Fourth round, they end up atop a group with the United Arab Emirates and Oman and qualified from there.
It's a lot of
That's
rounds.
it's a lot of rounds. They had to work hard to get here. Normal AFC qualifying process. And again, qualifying after being a host country in 2022 and not having to go through that. All but one player is in the Qatar Stars League. And that player is in the Spanish Segunda Division, second league, second division in Spain. Worst performing host nation in World Cup history, lost all 3 games with 1 goal scored and 7 conceded. They were supposed to play friendlies against Serbia, Argentina, and Sudan, and the Qatari League was suspended because of the war that is happening. Did you know there was a war, Rob? Did you know we were doing a World Cup during a war?
Jason, again, I've said it a couple times on this show. Just chill with this stuff, okay? Take it easy. We don't have to worry about
Yeah.
all that. In the words of the FIFA president, the president of all football, just chill.
Now, here's another thing about Qatar. And we talked about this a lot going into the 2022 World Cup, which of course was moved in the calendar to accommodate the temperatures in Qatar. By the way, it's 105 degrees in terms of feel in Northern Virginia, where I'm at today in the United States of America. I don't think it's that much cooler in a lot of places in our country, but whatever. I digress. Population of Qatar has more than quadrupled since 2010. That's not because they've been having babies. Let's just say it's not because they've been having some babies over in Qatar. That's not what went
It's
down.
either forced or voluntary migration.
No, it's right
Question
there in the
could
second.
be.
It's right there in the second bullet point from our guy. Only around 12% of the populace are Qataris. The rest are expatriates and migrant workers, some of which build stadiums. Yes. They brought in a ton of people to build the 2022 World Cup. And not all of those people were treated well, Rob. I remember reading and even writing about a lot of that. But they're here. They're representing their country in the World Cup.
Yep, definitely an interesting group ahead, and only the first matchup for Group B is happening today. Canada versus Bosnia, and then the others will play tomorrow. We are going to have a bonus segment, a members-only bonus segment at the end of the show. So be sure to gobble up those gift memberships if they haven't been taken already, or just sign up yourself. There's a button under the screen to become a member. If you don't have $3.99 a month, you can just hit a like, tell a friend, share the link, do whatever you can to help share Morning Kick Around with all of your football or soccer loving friends. But before we get to Group C and the magnum opus that we've been sent by our Luke Zagorski, we're going to talk about, I heard there's another game happening today.
No.
I think it might be
No.
close to home. Some of us might be interested in it. Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
that's right. USA tonight. Let's talk about that when we come back here on Morning Kick Around. Welcome back, Morning Kick Around. It is Friday, June 12th. Not only is it Friday, but it is the opening day for the United States men's national team in their 2026 campaign to win their first ever World Cup championship. Can we do it? Well, let's start today against Paraguay.
Yeah, it's obviously look, is this the easiest match to start the World Cup? No, it's not. And it's probably, if not the toughest among the hosts, it is probably close with Bosnia and Herzegovina facing off against Canada today. I don't think South Africa was ever supposed to put up a fight against Mexico. I think the United States can obviously win this game, right? They are good enough to win this game. They need to go after Paraguay. They need to take the game to Paraguay. They can't be sitting back They can't be hesitant. They've got to play with bravery, right? I was seeing yesterday Mauricio Pochettino in his match day -1 comments saying things like, I'm not going to give I'm not going to give an inspirational speech. I'm not doing a pregame thing. If you're not, I mean, I'm obviously not sounding like Mauricio Pochettino when he speaks English,
All
but
right, so you put me on the spot for mispronunciations. I'll put you on the spot to do a Pochettino accent. Let's go.
no, definitely not. Definitely not. Especially as somebody who's trying to learn Spanish. I don't want somebody coming after me, but come with my Spanish accent making fun of me. Not doing it.
Consider it practice. You're amongst friends here. Don't
No,
worry about it.
no. He said that if you need an inspirational speech before the game, then you shouldn't be here. You're not ready to play. That's essentially what he said.
If you don't need your coach to inspire you, but if you do need some inspiring speeches, did he recommend maybe look up Bill Pullman's Independence Day speech, maybe to get
Well,
fired up for the country?
he is apparently a very big fan, having been recently introduced, of the movie Miracle. And that is the story of an American team, an underdog American team doing something big on the international stage.
I
Right?
can always see a U.S. soccer publicist type guy be like, "Hey, this other thing happened in hockey. Let's try to draw parallels
Oh,
to
it
that."
definitely.
That's in the commercials that
I'm
they're putting out
sure.
there.
I'm sure. Can he be a Herb Brooks? I don't know. I don't know. By the way, I have no issue with what he said. Like, I like this energy because I also think it conveys that he believes these guys are ready. That he's saying they don't need it. We're all good. He was playing games a bit with his lineup stuff. He was saying that the guys don't know. I know, but they don't know. Pretty sure they've been told by now. There may have been a question of access to the media and leaks and that kind of stuff, and who knows. But he was kind of playing games with that. I think they are ready. I think they will respond. And maybe that's me just being a very hopeful fan. Rob, I'm going to be on the air at 9 p.m. Eastern when this game kicks off.
So you're doing
Sirius
counter
XM FC.
programming, essentially?
It's not counter programming. It's shoulder programming. It's
I gotcha.
watch the game on your television and listen to me and Luis Miguel Echegaray, who's going to bring a neutral viewpoint to the discussion because he is Peruvian. They don't have a team in this thing. He obviously is based in the United States, but he's not a U.S. men's national team fan. So if you want to listen to an absolutely insane person watching that game while they do radio, that would be me. If you want to listen to a completely sane person who can maybe bring some insight, it's Luis Miguel Echegaray. That's Sirius XM FC 157. I don't always promote that here, but that'd be cool if you
I
guys
hope
listen.
that are you going to have like some sort of a webcam set up? I'd love to see a Jason Davis goal react coming from that.
How about this? If we can get 5 more members before the end of the show, I will set up a webcam and stream it for our members on Morning Kick Around. No sound. There will be no sound. I cannot broadcast anything that's being said, but you will be able to watch me do the show and perhaps react from 9 to 11 while I'm watching the United States play Paraguay and trying to do decent radio. So there's that.
Yeah, I imagine that's a challenge to just basically talk along with it without trying to like do your own sort of play-by-play, like have a conversation about something that's currently ongoing. Sounds like a whole nother kind of broadcasting challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to be challenged. I like a challenge. This is, if I need a pep talk to get ready for this show I'm doing tonight, well, then I shouldn't be here. I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to take your professionalism and just motivate yourself, Jason.
Yeah.
But at the task at hand, I actually really like the way that the 3 group opponents have played out. Like Paraguay, then Australia, then Turkey. I think that I'm really excited for this one. The matchups, I think USA and Paraguay are a very intriguing matchup. Obviously, we had a late, final whistle sort of dust up with Paraguay last time we faced them. They're both teams trying to be aspirational to punch higher than their current global perception. And then, and I think that tonight is really the key to unlocking the World Cup fever across the country on hold. How do we get the normies, the non-soccer dedicated year-rounders to tune in? It's if they open tonight with something fantastic, whether it's a comprehensive victory or even just like one moment, like a galvanizing moment that the sports public takes in. I think it's really important to set Nice.
Yeah, we want that. Definitely. We want that. I'm hoping for a pretty full house. We don't know exactly how many tickets have been sold, and the stories have said that's been a trickle. I mean, definitely overpriced. There will be Paraguayans on hand, but how many? Not going to make up the difference if Americans don't show up and go support the U.S. men's national team. And after what we witnessed, and I don't think we should compare ourselves to Mexico because their culture is different when it comes to this game. But after what we witnessed at the Estadio Azteca last night, I would really like there to be a full house in Los Angeles for this. And I've seen some of the pictures as the journos have been posting about being there, and it looks like it will be an amazing backdrop for this. So I'm encouraging people to listen to Sirius XMFC 157 if you have it. By the way, free trials are out there. You can just go look for them. And if I don't want to pay for Sirius, get it for a month.
You don't actually have to buy a car in order to get it.
No, it's an app. You can get it on an app now. It's amazing. You just listen to it on your phone. Listen to me on your phone while you watch the game, and then also see me reacting in a small inset window to this as I'm doing the show. If you sync it all up perfectly, it could be a very entertaining watch. Yeah,
We've gotten pretty far into this discussion, though, without bringing our correspondence assistants. Do we have any of that?
Well, so shout out to Dan Kane, who picked me up because I kind of said I would do Group D, and that's mostly because I can do a lot of it off the top of my head, having gotten ready for this World Cup. But he did shoot me over some stuff on Paraguay. This was the country that we played in our second ever World Cup match back in 1930 in that first ever World Cup. The United States beat Paraguay 3-0. Would love that scoreline tonight. Let's do it again. Let's repeat some history. They have the APF Division of Honor, the professional division of the Paraguay Football League. That's their domestic competition. They have a team called Olimpia that is like the Bayern Munich of Paraguay. 48 titles. 48.
That's definitely a Bayern Munich sort of situation. They have more than all the other teams combined, it would seem, probably, right?
Well, it also says that Cerro Porteño, which I've heard of that club, has 35 titles. So 1906, this league started. So basically, if you add, Rob, I want you to do math live on this show right now. 48 plus 35. Can you do it? 48 plus 35.
83?
I think you're right. I think that's 83. So
yeah.
What is 2024 minus 1906? What is that? It's 100 and something years. So 83 of 100 and something titles have gone to two teams. That's pretty wild. It's Scotland, only in South America. The IFFHS, believe it or not, ranks Paraguay as the 10th strongest league in the world.
What?
No idea. Cerro Porteño is good. I've heard about them plenty in CONMEBOL competitions like the Copa Libertadores and things like that. By the way, Cerro Porteño, doing my Spanish, I think it means like Hill of the Port Dwellers. Yeah, I think that's right. So we got, let's see, Jose Luis Chivalert, 60-year-old goalkeeping legend. Okay. That's what Chilavert. I don't know if that's pronounced or spelled correctly. They beat Nicaragua to go in a game 4-0 in their send-off. There was some atmosphere there, fireworks, flares, because that's how they get down in South America. You do have this issue with Julio Enciso, a very important midfielder for Paraguay, picked up an injury in that match against Nicaragua. So, and I think I've seen reports he might play, but I don't know. This is very much our Chris Richards situation. So is Enciso going to play or not? People do know, obviously, about Miguel Almiron, who was at Atlanta United, went to Newcastle, came back to Atlanta United. Not the same player he was during the heyday with the Five Stripes, but still a player to keep an eye on. Wouldn't think that you can just ignore him. He will be dangerous at times. They have two official languages in Paraguay. What are the two official languages of Paraguay, Rob?
Is it Spanish and Portuguese?
No, it's Spanish and
French.
Guarani. Guarani, which
native
is,
language?
a native, maybe a native language or a language that comes out of combinations of native languages and Spanish. And that's also a people. The Guarani are basically the Paraguayan people. There are 5 million of them. It is an indigenous language, so it is not Spanish influence, or it could be, a little bit since the colonization. But yeah, and actually the Guarani is the official currency of Paraguay as well.
Hey, well, there you go. We are learning stuff. Thank you for the correspondence. That is information that I wouldn't have known. Thank you for
W-
sharing that.
What about food? Should we do food real fast before I
I,
move on? Before
I
we,
know
we
all
do that?
about American food.
No, no, no. Paraguayan food, Rob.
Oh yeah,
Paraguayan
sure,
food.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Sopa paraguaya, which is not a soup, even though sopa is the word for soup. A dense cornbread with cheese and onions. All right. It's a soup you can slice, is the way that Dan writes it. You also have chipa, which is a cheese bread. Imbeju, starch cheese flatbread. We're doing a lot of cheese and bread in Paraguay, I guess. Vori vori, which is a chicken soup with cornmeal and cheese dumplings. I think corn is very big in Paraguayan food. I don't know how. Yeah, I've had Peruvian, I've had some Argentinian, I've had some Chilean. I don't know that I've ever had Paraguayan, but
No,
sounds good.
I've definitely never had cheese onion bread or a soup that you can slice with a knife. So that sounds interesting. I think that the cheesy bread sounds good if it's not too oniony. If it's just like a mouthful of onions in the loaf, then I don't know if I can vibe with that too strong. But interesting to learn about that native food and language. But tonight, obviously, United States opens up their campaign. In general, what are your thoughts before the rubber hits the road and the ball gets rolling tonight?
2-1 the United States beats Paraguay is my prediction. It's a World Cup match. Anything can happen. Paraguay are not going to be pushovers. I think the United States is a better team. I think they're in a decent place. If Chris Richards plays, it makes the defense that much better. And yeah, I think they're ready to go. I think they're ready to go. So I'm excited. It's finally here. Our World Cup is here.
With or without a pep speech from their coach, they will be ready. Per Jason Davis, and I saw in the comments earlier that I think it's Guitar Yarga said, "I don't need a best man speech to get married, but it would be nice to get one." And
Yeah,
there's
sure.
some galvanizing words to get the adrenaline pumping, and there's got to be value in that. But Pochettino seems to be like kind of diffusing or undermining of expectations, or he's doing something to just kind of like be anti what people are expecting of him. I don't know. Would you say he's got a wet blanketism going on, Pochettino, to a degree?
No, I don't think so. I think he's not everybody's cup of tea. He's rubbed me the wrong way at times. I think he's been a little too antagonistic with the media at points. I think he has been a little bit dismissive of American soccer culture in ways I don't feel good about. But he's a very good coach. I think he cares about this team. I think he cares about putting a winner on the field. So I got no issue. I got no issue with this at this point, right? Like the players seem to have responded. They're saying the right thing. So let's go. Let's go. Let's see what happens.
All right. Exciting times ahead. 2 games on the World Cup docket for day 2. Canada and United States in action. And excitement ahead. Can't wait to see what happens. We are going to get into some of the weekend action here in our bonus segment. So if you are an MK Ultra A channel member, we are going to continue on in our contributor for Group C. Put together quite the production for us. So if you gobbled up those gift memberships from Mr. Bob, you can gain access to that. And last second style, $3.99 a month gets you priority commenting on screen, gets you access to bonus content and access to the Morning Kick Around Discord server, which has just been a buzz. I step away from it for a while, and there is conversations ongoing from kits
Yep.
to World Cup
Yep.
to the National League or the domestic leagues, and local stuff happening near to the membership. So great stuff there. Just a few bucks a month. You support the show, you get more dotting the map. And today we're going to learn about Group C here in our bonus segment.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to schedule the members only switch here in just a second. And right now, I don't see I don't see anybody, I don't see enough members for me to put a camera on me tonight, so I guess I'm just going to be by myself reacting to the US men's national team game. I mean, I still might do it because I think it would be fun to see it back. So pay attention if you're a member on Morning Kick Around to the channel, and we'll see if I throw that up for people to watch. All right, ready? Are we ready to schedule this so we can watch what we've got for that group
Yeah.
C? All right, here we go. 1 minute from now is when we kick off the members only stream.
All right, 1 minute from now, we're going to go to bonus. So thank you for everyone for tuning in and commenting on this. Dan is asking about Group D. I think we're going to get to Group D stuff on Monday, most likely.
Well, Group D is the U.S. group. We talked Paraguay. We'll talk about the other two teams after the fact. I mean, just because of the way things have worked out today.
Yeah, and so we're probably about 30 seconds to bonus time. So thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in. We're talking about buzzing our stuff. USL2 game of the week Saturday night. Sports Engine play. Tune into Oakland County SC versus the Bucks. And we're going to try to mix in domestic stuff as the World Cup goes. So stay tuned for us to dot the map. And we will see everyone else that's not a member on Monday. Until then, everybody, enjoy your soccer.